Oh yes, Andy Dufresne. Young fella crawled all the way through a dehumidifier. Went in wet as rain, came out dry as a mug. Okay, enough with the Morgan Freeman. Let's jump on in here. So we'll start here by looking at the current interface for inputting project specifications. This form actually enables us to proceed with design automation development. Eventually this form will go away and it'll be replaced with a data link from Dryware. So all those values will be directly input through a data link from Dryware. Take a quick look at what we call the randomizer. This is a tool that was developed in Excel to quickly give us some input data to enter into the form that we just looked at. The kind of neat thing about this tool is that it actually generates random values with some intentional bias built in. But as I click the button here, you can see the values update each time the button's clicked to give us a new set of values. And there's some things turning on and off based on some of the selections. So one place where we've introduced some intentional biases to give an 80% chance of selecting the process inlet location as end versus bottom. When that button is clicked, I'll show you something else that it's doing in the background. So when we run a new spec now, there's a button here that will, when clicked, it'll pull that data from a file that it was saved to from the click of the button. It's just kind of to show you a starting point for the data connection to Dryware. And then we can take that data and use it for other things as well. All right, so now that the spec is released, we can generate the models and the drawings in just a few mouse clicks. This generation takes several minutes, so I'll speed up most of it. So let's take a look and watch it run. We'll start by looking at the 3D model. Something that I noticed when I was inputting the values is that the randomizer gave us a really high heat value, which drove a 36-inch tall gas burner, and with only 1,000 CFM react blower, thinking that's probably not a typical unit. So one of the benefits of the randomizer is that occasionally it'll give you an odd pairing of spec data, and those are always good to run because, as you can see here, we've got a couple of problem areas. This filter access door is obviously out of position, and after running a few hundred specs now, that's the first time I've noticed that. So sometimes it takes some kind of odd things to flesh out some problem areas that wouldn't be so obvious when running a more typical set of data. And hopefully Casey's not watching right now and doesn't see where this fan is located, because he's made it very clear that it needs to be located central to the airstream. So that's something that's on my list to fix. And there's the old tall heater. Just taking a quick look at the drawing. Again, a lot of this is still under development, but eventually we'll have 4 views that are scaled properly, aligned with all the annotations aligned where they should be with the overall dimensions of the entire unit. And this here is something I added recently that needs some work. On the second sheet, we have 2 isometric views, and in those views we're identifying the major components, and then those components are detailed in this table here, and hopefully you can see that these values in the drawing table tie all the way back to our original randomly generated set of specs. Matter of fact, this might be the one that Andy Dufresne probably crawled right up in here in this corner, laid down in front of that nice heater, had himself a nice warm night's sleep.